website and everything. Aaron, you have a lot of stuff going on. That's why I always like talking to you when we get a chance to, because you're a busy guy. You're one of my favorite people to listen to, read, talk to about college football. It's talking season now, and everybody's kind of zeroed in on the differences between the Big Ten and the rest of the world in the playoff. What is your stance on that, and where do you think that they should go? Are you an AQ guy, or are you a 5-11 guy?
Well, I'm a 5. Well, you know what I am? I'm a 5-7 guy. Yeah. I don't think we should be expanding this thing at all. I was never somebody that felt that we needed to expand past 4, because to me, the more you expand, the more you take away from the greatest regular season in American sports. And people can say, oh, that's not true. I just go back to the fact that Ohio State was a 21.5-point home favorite against their biggest rival. They lost to them, and it meant absolutely nothing in the broader perspective of the season. So I am not in favor of further expansion. I'll give credit to folks in the media, because I think we got it kind of shoved down our throats, and it kind of felt like it was an inevitability. And I think we all, and I include myself like in that group, we all talked about this thing like it was going to end up at 16. And I still think it does. But what I would say is, now that it seems that there is an impact, I think there's a lot of people I've seen, Danny Cannell speak out about this. I've seen Nicole Auerbach speak out about this, and basically say, hey, if there's not good thought behind this and logic and reasoning, there's no reason we should go beyond 12 at this point. So I don't know what's actually going to happen, but if you tell me my preferred model is 4 AQs and that's it, and if we don't get that, then it is 5 conference champions plus 7 automatic bids, which is obviously what we have right now.
Yeah, it's been drilled down upon so much, and it's kind of taken over the conversation a little bit. So, and I keep hearing the Big Ten try to explain their way out of it. And Stuart Mandel, in his column today, said they kind of all sound the same. It's kind of robotic, but it doesn't really. There's too many questions you ask about it when you're like, but what about this? And well, no, it preserves the regular season. Well, it sounds like they only want to preserve the regular season if the regular season can't hurt them.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with the whatever it is 4-4-2-2-1 model. Here's the part that I don't understand. So, and I wasn't at Big Ten Media Day. I would have loved to have Tony Petitti this question, but they're trying to shove down this idea of play-in, play-off games, right? So 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. I know your audience is, smart enough where I don't have to explain that, but they're shoving this down, and I think, one, it's a little confusing, which is why I kind of referenced the audience. I'm sure you guys have talked about it. But 2, here's the other thing. A 4-4-2-2-1 model, that's 13 bids, which means there's still 3 at larges. So it's even in that scenario, it's so I'm the third best team in the Big Ten, and I lose to the 6th seed. I'm still getting into that playoff. I don't that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Is if the core of your argument is that it preserves the regular season, it makes that championship weekend the best version of itself it could possibly be. It actually doesn't, because you still have at-large bids that can be received by teams that lose that weekend. So, to get back to the 16-team model, I am not in favor at all of 4-2-2-1-1, or whatever the number is. Whatever you can't even say the numbers off the top of your head. It's too convoluted and confusing. But that's why I'm not in favor of that. If we get to 16, just either give me the 16 best teams, or I think really the best move is give me 5 and 11, so that the G5 at least have a seat at the table.
Aaron, along those lines, I know you also cover college basketball. The idea to further expand March Madness has been tabled for now, although it will be revisited because, hey, there's money to be made, right? But what were your thoughts when it was brought up and it's been discussed about trying to open up March Madness even further?
Yeah, I'm even more passionate about not expanding March Madness as I am the college football playoff. One, I think the point that you guys bring up, I agree with, is I think yesterday's kind of leak from Ross Dellinger, all it said was that college basketball tournament expansion has been put on the back burner for next season, which means they could still announce today tomorrow, Monday, that, hey, come 2027, you're getting 76 teams whether you like it or not. And so that was the thing that actually stood out to me, was that it felt to me like they're letting the public think that they're getting a win so that they can then, hand out the L that nobody in the public wants. But as far as the expansion itself, I think it's an embarrassment. And the thing that I've said consistently about it is really two things. One, this is the best postseason event that we have. I just referenced that college football, I still think, probably has the best regular season outside of the NFL. But as much as I love college basketball, I'll readily admit that I'm one of the few people that watches regular season games. And with college, and I think that's a problem with college basketball. You're only going to water down the sport more. And I think what's funny about the college basketball debate going on with college football at the same time is that basically, I think that I still think, even if I personally disagree with expanding past 12, I think there are people that are in favor of it. I think there's schools that sit there and say, even at 12, it's going to be tough for us. 16 would be a lot better for my particular school. I've actually yet to really hear anybody outside of a conference commissioner or head coach make the argument for NCAA tournament expansion. I haven't heard a fan make it, a media member make it, whatever. So I think that, to me, is the biggest fundamental difference. I still think there are people that want more teams in the college football playoff than we already have at 12. I have yet to hear a single person to get out of a commissioner or coach that actually wants past 68 for college basketball.
Aaron, if they were running a restaurant and they had a dish that everybody loved, and then they said, hey, you know how this thing is perfect and it tastes perfect and it's great, well, we're gonna make it bigger. You're like, yeah, but I'll never finish that. Like, I don't want, it's perfect the way it is. Like, you will eat a quadruple cheeseburger.
No, hey, McDonald's, I like hamburgers. I don't want pizza. Yeah. I didn't come here for pizza. Yeah. I want hamburgers. It's exactly what it is. I mean, you can make a million analogies, but I agree with you guys 100% that it's not anything anybody wants. And I think, again, like you guys said it from off the top, when there's money to be made, once that train is on the track, it's hard to get it off. But it's not anything that anybody that I've talked to wants. Maybe there's somebody out there that vehemently disagrees. I just haven't really heard that person yet.
Aaron, what did you think about Memphis's attempt to, I guess, buy their way into the Big 12? Not completely uncommon. I mean, we saw SMU successfully do something similar along those lines to get into the ACC, and they are now, I don't know what the ACC's future holds, but for right now, it's all right. But I mean, Memphis trying to go big, you have to respect it, and I just really feel sorry for their fan base that's at the mercy of these decisions, but know that they're trying to do their best to hang around the exclusive club, so to speak. But I don't know. What do you think it says, or what do you think it means moving forward for Memphis, and just your thoughts on the Big 12 deciding to say no to a pile of cash?
Well, I get the Big 12's perspective because 16 is a nice round number. Again, I think from their perspective, it would be expanding for just the sake of either A, expanding, or B, getting a check. So I get the Big 12's perspective, but I'll be honest, I do feel bad for Memphis. I've been covering, college sports in some degree for probably 15 years now, and I don't really understand why Memphis always seems to be the school that nobody wants to let in. I don't know, and I don't know what the answer is. City, school, okay, but Houston's in the Big 12, Cincinnati's in the Big 12, obviously UCF, which really has burst onto the scene in like the last 10 to 12 years, is in the Big 12. So I feel bad, and I think more than anything, it's seeing all of your rivals go other places. I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I'm a UConn alum, and UConn kind of lived through this, ironically, in the same conference as Memphis. When the Big East went basketball only, UConn ends up in this weird conference that nobody wants to be in. There's no rivals, and I think UConn smartly kind of, I hate to say this, I hope Jim Moore isn't listening, but they kind of sacrificed their football program to save both their basketball programs. And I don't think Memphis is in that exact spot because obviously their football team has been very successful at the Group of 5 level. But yeah, I just feel bad because it feels like a power conference fan base that's stuck in a G5 league in both football and basketball.